Okay. Hi, Chin. How are you? Voting whether our child is correct.
Hello.
Yeah, hi, Chin. How are you?
I'm good. Sorry I'm late.
Worries. Just starting. Prince won't be joined, right?
Say that again?
Prince won't be joining today.
Yes, yes.
No worries. If he can manage with the recording, well and good. Otherwise, I will just ask him if I will repeat the class tomorrow.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, I'm not sure if he will be. But
No worries. I will talk to him.
okay.
So, so in last class we were discussing Sokal. Okay. So we draw this diagram to understand how the relationship query works. Okay. So tell me, like, suppose, can anybody help me writing a query? Like, suppose I have a relationship between account and contact. We know that account and contact are related, and I want to. So for this account, Wipro, I want to have the contact detail also. So what will be the query? Who would like to help me?
So we
For
will
Wipro.
like
Mhm.
so it is like we will fetch the from the parent record we will fetch the child record also, no?
Yes.
Okay. So we will write the like query in query like in the
Mm-hmm.
where we select the like select suppose ID name and
Mm-hmm.
like
Mm-hmm.
again we will like
So
here
let's write
com-
a
comma,
base query first. So what will be the base query?
yeah, select account name
Mm-hmm.
from account
from account.
Okay. So this is a
where
base query.
name
Yes,
But I have a condition. I want data for only Wipro account.
yes, yes.
yeah
So
so where name is equal to Wipro. Yeah.
The account name is equal to Wipro, something like that. Okay. Now we
let's
will
just
write,
first execute the base query. So we got the
yes,
account detail. Now, along with account, I want to retrieve contact details
yes, yes.
related to this account. How I will do that?
So comma contact like name comma
Mm-hmm.
and parenthesis,
Mm-hmm.
then select and whatever in name something else
Mm-hmm.
from contact.
Correct?
Yes.
Let's execute it. It is giving error. Why?
Contacts.
Okay.
Yes.
Now we are getting details of contacts also. Okay. So
Yeah.
here we are going from parent is our account and child is our contact. So we are going from parent to child. So we are using nested query, and the
Yes.
result set will be plural. We will get the multiple data for a parent account. Now suppose my requirement is for this contact, this contact is associated account. Okay, so I want to know the rating of account for this contact. So what will be the query?
So we will use here dot operator.
Okay. So what will be the query?
So select
Hmm.
rating. I suppose ID rating. Yeah, ID rating.
Hmm.
But the rating we will take from the
Let's
account.
first write the base query first. We are
Okay.
querying contact. Our base is contact.
Okay, so contact.
So what will be our base query?
Only ID name from contact.
Okay.
ID
ID
name
name
from
from
contact.
contact.
Okay.
This is our base query because we are going from contact to parent. So let's execute it. Whatever contact is there, they are coming. If you
Yes.
want to make it conditional, so let's from where
Where?
name equal to, I'm taking this. Now I want to know the rating of the account which related to this account.
Yeah, comma, name comma.
Comma.
Suppose I think account in account there is a rating, na? So account dot rating, and if no,
So
I think there is no rating.
when we are going from child to parent, we will use dot operator.
Yes.
So this is clear to everyone. This is Nilofar, right? Who has joined with the some number 8864867.
No, no,
Sorry,
I didn't join from number.
but it's showing your some number there. You are Nilofar, right?
Yes, yes, Nilot
Okay.
Palan.
Okay.
I don't know what.
Okay.
Okay, fine.
So write this, draw this diagram in your notes, and remember this. You will not face any problem while doing relationship query, because these are little confusing. So first you need to identify which one is parent object, which one is child object. How to identify child object? Salman, how will we will identify the child object? Anybody? Rahul, how we will identify the child object?
How will identify child object?
Yeah, how we will know that which one is the child object? I could have told in relationship class. So how we will identify child object? The object which will have the relationship field.
Okay, okay, yes.
See, let's take example of country. We created country and state objects. You remember we created a country object and a state object, and we build a relationship between them. Now somebody comes and tells me. So this is the system. You need to tell which one is child, which one is parent. What I will do? What I will do? I will go to both of the objects. So I will go to first country object.
You understood.
I will go into field and relationship. Try to see what all fields are there. There are country name created by language. So these are already standard fields. What are custom fields? Language and population. These two are not look up for master detail. So there is no relationship field on this object. Now I will go to state. We'll go to state object, see field and relationship. We'll see each one of the fields. Let's see. First field I see country underscore C, and it's a lookup on country. So this way I will identify which one is the child object. So state is a child object. So this way, this is the way we will identify who is the child object. So in this case, through common sense also we know there could be a multiple states of a country. So by that also state will be the child and country will be the parent. But we cannot go by this common sense logic. We will go by data. Because if some application is already created and somebody says tell me out of these two objects which one is the child, which one is the parent. Because many things will depend on that also. Because the concept I am bringing here is based on parent and child. So state is a child object, country is the parent object. So whenever I am querying data from country to state, means I am going from parent to child, and it will have the nested query. When I am going from state to child, state to parents, sorry, state to country, I am going child to parent. This is my flow. So it will be singular data because multiple child will have single parent only. And we will use dot operator. I think someone, did you not practice this, Sokal?
Yes. I was just going through the query builder. Yes.
Okay. So practice this because this is very important to know the Sokal and especially relationship, because everywhere you have to work on the relationship queries. There is nothing without relationship queries in Salesforce because it's not because the business problems are not possible without relationships. You have to relate to two objects. Okay. So please practice this. If you are not getting this, once you practice, then you will get something. If still you don't get it, we will discuss this again.
Okay. Yeah.
Tanmay, did you practice Sokal? Chin, did you practice?
A little bit, I did.
Sorry?
I practiced a little bit.
Okay. So just practice if you have not done it. Just practice it. What I've already shared the practice sheet. So if you can make those queries by yourself or just referencing also, you will get the idea how the relationship query works. Okay.
Yes.
So now, so far we have worked on the standard object, account, contact, those all are standard object. Now, what about if we work on we query the custom object and any relationships. So there will be just one difference. We need to put underscore r. Underscore r. So let's see. I have a country object, India, and it has one state. So suppose from country I need to query state data. How we will do it? Select. First I will write the base query. What is my base query? ID, name, from, country. Why it is giving me any idea? Why it is giving me error?
For custom object, we need to rename that field underscore to underscore to underscore.
Right.
C.
So underscore C. Now I want the from country, I want to have the state data also. What I will do? Select
Name.
ID, name, from, states,
Underscore C.
underscore. Let's see. So it is giving error. Why
Yes,
it is
state
giving
error.
error?
It
I
is-
told you we need to use underscore r.
Okay.
So this is the difference. Give me a minute. I'm clicking on Google Chrome, it is opening new. Suddenly my laptop is not behaving properly. These are not working. A minute.
Ritesh?
Yeah, Chit.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I do have to go for another meeting, unfortunately. I know
No,
it was.
no issue. You just go through the recording. I will just after the class I will share the recording. Just go through.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So this is the difference between custom and standard objects. In case of standard object, we need not to suffix anything, but in custom object, in normal scenario also we need to suffix underscore C, and when we will writing the relationship queries, we will write underscore R. So now we are getting the data of the states. Sometimes it's confusing that where we should put R. Where this there or there. So to avoid this confusion, please write base query first. Write the base query first. This is a base query. It always have underscore C. Now I need to inquire the relationship data. So select ID name from state underscore R. So that's why I always say, right? Why it is giving me error? Tell me. Because it will have states.
Yes.
So always write base query first, then relationship query will have underscore R in case of custom object. So this is the difference between custom and standard object. Sometimes it becomes a little confusing that where we should put underscore R. So underscore R will come in the relationship query. And what is the relationship query? This is the relationship query. Now similarly, suppose state is my child object. I'm going from child to parent. For this state, I want to know the country name. How? Select
ID name.
first the base query. What will the first base query Rahul? For a
ID,
state?
ID name from states underscore C.
States or state?
States.
No.
No, S. Okay.
S comes when we write the relationship. Inside this is no nested query. This is base query.
Okay. Okay.
Now I need to inquire the country name. I am going from child to parent. How I will write?
ID country dot ID. But
Country dot
ID.
name. I need name.
Yeah, somewhat.
Country is correct.
Yeah, countries. I think we should write
Country underscore
R.
R.
Okay.
This is a custom object, so we will always have underscore and relationship field, so underscore R. Now we are getting ID name and the country name India. This is little confusing. When you will practice, you will already have data or state or country object in your org. Otherwise, create it. Go through the relationship video again, create the objects, and then inquire the data, relationship data. Are you clear about this?
Nitesh sir,
Yeah.
I'll be on mute. I'll be on a call, but I'll be reviewing the screen that you're sharing. Yeah.
Okay, no issues.
Thank you.
Tanmay, is it clear? Relationship queries in case of standard object, custom object.
Yes.
Okay. So, Neelam, first friends, may I know your name? You have joined with the Galaxy?
Kumar Anand, hi.
Yeah, hi, Kumar. You have some experience in Salesforce, some knowledge in Salesforce, or you are entirely new?
Yeah, no, I have experience. I have done API testing now I am doing API testing in Salesforce.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. And
So
before
whatever I'm
also,
talking about, are you getting it?
yeah, I'm getting it.
Okay, good.
You are talking about the relationships between the objects.
Yeah, I'm talking about the relationship and how we can inquire the relationship data, how we can query it. So I'm talking about this. So for this,
Correct. Correct.
just remember this diagram. If you remember this diagram, you won't make any issues like where to put the nested query, where to put the dot operator.
Okay.
Your friend left, and Hemantha?
No, no, I'm also here.
Oh, okay, now you're with the name only. Okay, so
Yeah, I joined from like application earlier. I was using web link.
okay,
Now I have installed Zoom and I joined
okay.
from laptop.
Okay. So Nilofer, actually, I've just started the development. This Sockle is the first concept I cover in the development part. So I've just covered the Sockle. Okay. So
Yeah,
yeah, I've talked about the first we had some basic queries we did. Then we in the last class I started the relationship query for the standard objects, and now we are discussing the relationship query in custom object.
okay.
Okay. So I give the practice sheet also. So I mailed them the practice sheet. So it has around 10 to 12 practice question and it covers a lot of things. Some are the little complex also. So once gradually they are designed like that from easy to complex. So if they are thorough with the easy queries, then they can do the complex queries also. Whatever
Okay.
I give the practice assignment, that is enough for complete understanding of the Sockle concept. There will be nothing out of those practice. Okay.
Okay, fine.
So I understand that everyone is clear about Sockle and relationship queries. Okay. So now next thing is it Apex class. So how we create class in Salesforce? We go in file, then we go into new, and then we get the Apex class. So it asks for the name. Okay. So we will give some name. Okay.
So this is your writing first class, right? Or like before also you have covered about these topics.
No, I'm just starting with development. I've just started, so this is first class only.
Okay, okay, fine.
Okay, before first class, we will just see what all the data types in Salesforce. Apex data types. So these are the Apex data type we have. So like for numeric value, we have integer, then long. So as we know, like the integer has their limit of 32 by bit number. Long can accommodate higher numbers up to minus 2.6 power 63 to the power 63 minus 1. So long has higher limits. Then we have ID. So we can have a data type of ID. So the way we have the record ID, the similar record ID can be made a data type also in Salesforce, and this is very useful. Then we have object, like whatever object we have in Salesforce are also a data type. One by one we will see it with the example, so it will get clear. So you just for now you just understand the string. String is for storing the alphabets. Integer for numbers, long is for numbers, time is for storing the time, double is for storing the double decimal with the decimal point. Then we have decimal, date, date and time, boolean. Boolean is for true and false. And blob is for, like suppose we want to store some pics or something, attachment, then we can store it into blob. So if we list down data types in Salesforce, what we have integer, long, decimal, double, string, date, time, blob, object, ID. So broadly we have these many data types in Salesforce. Let's use some and try to create some data types. The example. For that we have a execute anonymous in Salesforce. Execute anonymous is nothing but for, like, it won't be saved in anywhere. If you want to test some piece of code or something you want to test, then temporarily you can code into execute anonymous. So just go into debug and open the execute anonymous, write your code and test. So let's suppose we want to, I have an integer. How to define an integer? Integer the way we define in other language, C or Java. Int a. If I want to assign some value, I can assign. Now I want to print this value. So what is the way? Debug system.debug. Int a. How to execute this code? Execute executed. So how to see that what we have executed, where see the result? So we will go into log and just see the time 1939. So this is the log just now created. To see the value of debug, we will click the debug only and we will see the value 34. Anybody has any doubt, like we just write the code, we did not compile it, we did not run it? Any doubts coming into your mind? I just write the code and executed and it executed. I did not compile it, I did not run, did nothing. What happens? Like as the code gets saved, it auto gets decompiled, and through execute we are running it. So whenever we save the FX code, it automatically gets compiled. And if it has any error, it gives. But right now we are compiling the executing the code into execute anonymous, so it does not save anywhere. So when we execute it, it will show the error, whatever error it has. Like suppose I don't give this semicolon. Now for seeing the log, I have to go into logs and open this log. I want whenever my code get executed to open log should open. So I will mark this. So what this difference it will make? Let's see first. So as soon as I executed it, it automatically opened the log. I did not have to go into logs and open this. See, this log is coming 1941. I will just go into debug only and we'll see the result. Suppose I am making some mistake here.
What else if we, sorry,
Yes.
what else if we give int a space a,
Sorry.
that code
Int.
should run, right?
Can you repeat int?
Int a space a.
No, it won't run because it's not a variable. No, it's we need to give a logical correct variable. Let's see. So it is saying unexpected token int because it is not identifying int. After the data type, it is expecting a variable. Then it is expecting int
Correct.
also. It is getting a also. So it is getting confused. What is int? What is a? So either we have to make it like this. Int underscore a.
Okay, fine.
So if I'm making some mistake, let's say I'm making this mistake, it will give the exception unexpected token int a. Why? Because I have not given semicolon. So when it gets executed, it will give that error. Now suppose I define this variable and I want to assign value here.
Change the int a to int underscore a.
Okay, sorry. Just because of
Yes.
this.
In system.debug, yes.
Yes, yes.
Correct.
Yes. So we are getting the value 56. So either we can assign the value here or we can assign the value afterwards. Now suppose let's take a string. We are getting the value of a string also. So this is the way we use data types. Now we have very important data type object. Okay, so how objects are used? Okay, before that object, let's understand the class. So while coding, when we will do the examples, we will use few of the data types. And the using the data type is entirely same as other languages. What is the way? We just need to define the data type. We need to assign some value, whatever way we can assign into code or like explicitly we can assign the values, and then we can print or we can use this value. Like let's suppose take example integer. So now what I want to store the multiplication of integer a and integer b into integer c. So what I will do, let's assign the value first. Int underscore c equal int underscore a multiply underscore b. I will print the system dot debug int underscore c. Now in execute anonymous we have one more option, execute highlighted. Suppose I don't want to execute this, I just want to execute this. So what I will do, I will just select this and execute highlighted. So it will only execute upper part. We are getting 280. If I don't highlight and execute, it will execute everything. It is executing this, typing system.debug 280, printing, then it is printing this one. So this is the way we can use data types, like for calculation or things that in other language we do it, we can do it. Anybody has like any like would have not done these simple types of handling of data types like in other languages, C or anything. Anybody has are you thorough with these things, or like how to multiply two integer, two variable, use substrings? Tanmay, Rahul.
There are certain features
Good.
with regards to classes where we can use the operations with regards to string and integer, which can be accessed by dot operators.
No, so Tanmay, regarding what you are talking about.
Substring and string and concurrent strings and everything.
No, I'm just asking, are you thorough with these things, like how to use simple data types in any language like C or Java, or like
Yes.
how comfortable are you? Why I'm asking, because based on that I will cover like these basic things. If you are like if somebody has problem with these things, so I will cover it in detail. I'm
Surely.
asking that. You want me to cover in detail like with basic, like how data types, like I'm not getting you, like.
No, I have done this all in Java.
Okay, yeah, because as I understand, like whoever works into like come from any like has done any engineering or MCA or BC or whatever, has done any course with the computers, would have done it. So okay, okay. So let's start the class. We have little time, but let's start. So how to create a class? Okay, first off, tell me what do you understand with the class and object? Anybody? What is class? What is object?
Class is a blueprint using which we can create an object.
Okay.
and any entity whatever we are what I can say, well, anything which is in the world is object, we can say.
Okay.
In classes, we have certain methods which can do certain operations, and by using object and references, we can use those methods by calling that classes methods.
Okay. 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 So let's take an example of any car. Let's take an example of BMW car. So what does BMW will do if we want to create a car? What they will do?
They will first make a blueprint.
They will make a blueprint. What will be there in blueprint?
Design with regards
A
to external
blueprint
and
means-
internal design.
Yes, correct. Like we can talk about like how it will design like BMW car. What's their functionality, feature, and all. Like what are the parts?
So it will have some
Covered that.
attributes.
Yes, correct.
Attributes. It could be the like how much will be the length, how much will be the breadth, how much will be the height, and how much space will be there. It will be a 4-seater or 6-seater. Okay. It will have a glass, front glass. It will have a side. It will have a window. So these will be the attributes, right?
Yes.
Then there will be some actions. There will be some actions. What will be the action? Accelerate,
Yeah, like start, on,
start,
off, whatever.
brake.
Yes.
So there will be many actions into a car. Basic are accelerate, brake, gear. So these will be basic action, and these action will also have some parameter.
Yes.
Okay. So what could be a parameter for a brake? We will push the brake pad.
Yeah.
Here for a what will be the parameter for a gear? We will move the gear handle. We will move the gear handle. So similarly, if we talk about any class, so class will also have
That methods and state.
some attributes. Attributes could be variable. We can say attributes. If we talk about class, we can say attributes variable in a class. And action could be methods. So if we compare blueprint of a car, blueprint of a car will have attributes. Attributes will be height, breadth.
Colored.
No, color won't be an attribute of the blueprint.
Okay.
How many doors?
Mechanical portion and electrical portion of the car design.
Sorry.
Portion of the car design.
Yeah, right. So, like the design of car, like look and feel, like what be the exterior design. So there are a lot of attributes of a blueprint of a car. Based on that blueprint, the car will be designed, and there will be some action on the of action of the car, which will be part of blueprint. Based on this blueprint, the car will be designed. And if we talk about class, so attribute will become variable, and action will become method. And what is object? In case of BMW car, the car is the object. Based on the blueprint, we have created a car. And in case of, if we compare the class and object, so what is class? Class is the blueprint of the car, and the objective real car. So objective real world entity. So we can do things on the object. It exists in the real world object. Similarly, the car real is the real world entity. The object is the real world entity, and object is has their own attribute. So in case of car, what is the attribute of a car? Color. The car can have some accessories. So the car, different car could be there are BMW is producing 10 cars. There can be difference of color, accessories. On based on some customization, they can have like other things also in exterior or interior. There could be differences. So car can also have their own attributes. So similarly, object can also have their own attributes. So let's create a object. Sorry, class. We already created one. Let's create a loan class. I'm creating a new class, naming it loan. So if I talk about loan class, what all the attributes of a loan class will be? There will be applicant name, public name, there will be loan amount, what else will be there in the loan class?
Loan tenure.
Loan tenure, right?
Rate of interest, ROI,
Right.
EMI,
Of interest. There will be a max amount also. There is a limit on like how much loan can be approved. So there could be a max amount which should be approved. Suppose these are the attributes of a class. Now what could be the action? Suppose get detail, get amount. Get approved amount. For approved amount, what should I have? I should have the loan amount. What will be a condition of getting the loan amount? If loan amount is greater than max amount,
False.
my loan amount, approved amount will become max amount. So I will return the integer. So my loan amount will become max amount. Else my loan amount is
Same.
loan amount. Whatever amount I am getting is the my what I am getting, what function I have, the what amount can be approved. So this will be the parameter to my this action or method. What loan amount is, what is your loan amount? I will get in the parameter and I will compare it with the max amount I can approve. Suppose my max amount is 50,000. So if loan amount is greater than 50,000, the loan amount I can approve is the max amount 50,000. If the loan amount coming into parameter is less than 50,000, so this will become the loan amount. So see, now I have created this class, so it automatically gets saved. Otherwise, we can save it through this option. So when it is getting saved, it is giving error. See these exclamation mark, or we can see into problems. In the problem, it will show the errors this code is giving. So it is compiled, where it automatically saved it and compiled it. So what errors is it has found on the 6th line? It has found because we have not given the correct data type integer. It should be int. Let's save it. I have saved it. Control S. It is saving. See, I will save it through. It is saving loan class. I'm closing these. Now I have this. So the one error removed. Now it is saying another error on number 9. What is the missing return statement required return type integer? Because okay, how we write method? We can write public or private. Then we will have the return type. So in our case, it is an integer. Then we have the function name. Then we have the parameter we are passing to this function. Now it is saying missing return statement because I am returning integer. So it is saying the method is expecting a return statement because you are giving return type. So you will give a return type here. We will give a type return loan amount.
Make it
Saving it.
AMT.
Sorry.
Loan AMT. Make it loan AMT.
So this is the input amount. This is the approved amount, loan amount.
Okay.
This integer, this variable.
Okay. Capital element. Okay.
Okay, I'm copying it. It will not create any confusion. So here it will be this. I'm saving it through Control S. It is giving error on 14 because some random character was there. Now it is saved. So our code is saved. Now we need to compile it. So sorry, we need to run it. So what we will do, we will create a object of this class. How we can create an object? How to create an object of a class? Known class. So the way we use the data types, we will use the class. We'll give ls equal new class. So now we have created a object of this class ls. Now how to call a function? Ls dot this method name. We will be passing a parameter to it. What is the parameter? Loan amount. So I am passing 60,000. Now it has some return type. So I need to get it into some variable. So it is a LSAMT equal. So whatever is the value returned from this will be stored into this, and I need to print this to see the value of it. So I am printing this system dot debug LSAMT. I created a object. To this object ls, I have called this function, this method, passing parameter into this variable, and now I'm printing this to see the value. Let's execute it. So we will see the debug only. So we are getting 50,000. Let's understand this code. What we have done? We have created a loan class. These are the loan attribute. Then we have a method get approved amount. We are passing a loan amount to it. This loan amount will be checked against this maximum amount which could be approved. If it is in the limit of 50,000, we will approve whatever amount is asking for approve. Otherwise, it will approve only the max amount. And through this object, we are calling this function method, passing the parameter value. We are getting this return value into this variable, and we are printing this. So this is the way writing a class and creating an object, and through object whatever methods we have coded into class we can access through the object only. Are you getting this? Just practice it. If you have any doubt, just practice. Just go through the video again and just practice it. Okay. So in next class we will continue with the Apex classes. There are a lot more things into Apex classes which we need to cover. So let's meet tomorrow. We have class tomorrow also. The same time, 7 to 8, we will have the class. So any doubt for this class? Otherwise, we will meet tomorrow. Okay, then let's meet tomorrow. Please go through the recording because sometimes we don't get things in the first attempt. If you will go through the recording again, you will definitely get it. Otherwise, we can discuss anytime again.
Sure.
Sure, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay then. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.